I have a feeling you're not very surprised that an adrenaline junkie finds his way into the UFC. But today I'm joined by Jarno Errens, a Dutch MMA athlete who was competing in judo growing up, but then found himself in competing in motocross, back to competing in MMA as he was seeking to find another thrill. We talk about his growth in the European scene, his overcoming adversity and injury in the UFC, becoming a hot rising prospect as he continues to climb the ranks. He's going to be competing on August 10th at UFC Las Vegas 95, and I was excited for this one after his last performance. Hope everyone enjoys this conversation. If you're enjoying it, give me a subscribe, a like, drop a comment. I always love hearing people's feedback on these. And now, let's get it. Welcome back to Fight Capital, where we enter the ring of combat sports business. I'm your host, Ryan Rappaport. Today, I'm joined by Jarno Errens, a rising star in the world of MMA, hailing from the Netherlands. At 29 years old, Jarno has made a significant impact in the featherweight division, and he's known for his resilience and determination, coming off a amazing unanimous decision victory in Stephen Wynn, and now he's set to face Youssef Zalal at UFC Vegas 95, coming up in August 10th. He's a confident and ambitious athlete, and he expects to continue to pass the fame of Rico Verhoeven, leveraging his global platform to elevate his career and personal brand. Thanks for joining me today, Jarno. How are you, and where are you joining from?
Thank you, man. Thanks for having me. And yeah, I'm good. I'm feeling good. As you notice, I will fight 10 August again. So we are in camp, and everything is going well. Yeah, it's hard work every day.
Yeah, man. Well, I know you've been putting in that work. I've already seen the jumps in your career since the time you've been in the UFC. And I'm just curious, what inspired you to start competing in MMA? And I think a lot of fans also don't know much about the Dutch and Northern European MMA scene. So I'm really curious just to hear your thoughts on that.
At first, I always did like combat sports. My dad had a judo school, and my grandfather, and I grew up with it, but not with the fists or the kickboxing thing. Just like more the groundwork and the throwing part and this kind of stuff. Eventually, I switched to motocross riding because I was a very adrenaline junkie. I love to have some adrenaline in my blood, and later I switched over and motocross for the whole thing. So I didn't do judo anymore at all. And then start the frustration with motocross riding. I was going on a high level, but motocross riding is like financial very expensive. And then my dad said, like, if you want to go to the next level with motocross riding, you need to do something about it, but we don't have the financial stuff. So I went back on kickboxing. And there I started to do some fighting again, just for the conditioning works, and a little bit like I didn't have money for fighting, so I could go to the training as much as I want just for $5 a month, and that motivated me as well. Like, I was frustrated with motocrossing. I couldn't go to a higher level, and I think in fighting I could go to a higher level just by training. It wasn't to me like very clear that I was frustrated and wanted to go big in a sport, and then fighting came up. And it also wasn't that I'm at first that I was wanted to go to the UFC or wanted to be a big fighter or something, but I did feel like I could be more with fighting than I could be more with motocross riding. And eventually, just by fight after fight, my trainers motivate me a lot. Like, you have some serious talent, you need to do something with it. And later on, when I was winning fights, I got something like, put a little goal. And then I accomplished that goal, and I was like, okay, I want to a little bit more. So it's just when the journey, like, I have some small steps will bring me to the big steps. And that's also a goal for me right now. At first, you want to accomplish the UFC, then you want to win a fight in the UFC, and like 10 August, you want to win the second fight, and then probably you want to go to the top 15. Then you want to go to the top 10, then you want to go to the top 5, and then you want to be a champion. And probably then I'm still not satisfied, but hey, let's go to the champion and we'll see it over there then.
Yeah, man. Well, that's a long journey to get on the global stage and the top viewership of the UFC. I was just watching your growth, what I've seen already just in your time in the UFC. How important was that last match for you and what's happened since?
Very important. Probably that was my deepest thing in my career. You need to know you make your debut. Everyone in Holland has a look on you like you're the guy who needs to make it, and there's a lot of pressure on you. Like, people didn't start believing like I couldn't make it to the UFC, but when I eventually make my debut, then I also had the pressure to prove them wrong that I also could win. And I started with 2 losses, and then it's going to like the frustration again. Like I want to win, I want to show the people wrong. I know where I'm capable of. I'm always doubted in life and anything what I do. So I always want to prove. I have a very very high drive in everything I do, and 2 losses put me on a very dark place. And also for myself, that was the main reason I need to win, but also prove the no-sayers wrong. I believe when you want something in life, you can accomplish everything. You just have to believe it and stay realistic and work for it. And yeah, it was a very hard time, but probably these times make me. That's also why I get another big opportunity against Zalal. So life has some ups and downs. I went down, and probably I will peak now for a couple of fights.
Yeah, man, that's such an important conversation that you brought up too. I'm a big believer in mental health and mental focus, and obviously combat sports and MMA is such a physical game, but I don't think a lot of fans understand how important the mental game is too, and the mental preparation. And when you have those peaks and then those valleys of hard times, what it takes to pull yourself out of it. So man, kudos to you. How do you stay mentally focused through those ups and downs, especially when dealing with those setbacks? Hey everyone, quick favor to ask. Did you know that nearly 80% of the people tuning in right now aren't subscribed yet? That subscribe button down below is what powers me every week to keep putting out these podcasts. Big shout out and thank you to everyone that's been supporting me for this. I couldn't do it without you. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe below. It means the world to me. And for everyone supporting me, thank you so much. Now back to the show.
I'm always a mentally strong guy. Been my whole life. Like I've been a warrior, and that's also my mindset. Like go through it. Don't think too much about it. Just do it. But to be honest, it was also the first time I started to work with a mental coach, like a more performance mental coach kind of thing. And it's no issue because people always think like when you work with these sorts of guy, you are more like weak, but you're just more stronger to take the step and put your weak side, show it to the guy that there are some weak points. And when you have no ego, you can perform the best. So I started working with someone because I felt some pressure. I didn't had a good focus in the Choi fight, and these were some aspects there that I want to grow in. So I asked for help, and it was starting working out. Probably it was the best mental game I ever was. I was like, to be honest, I was like, all right, it's all good. If I win this fight, it's good. But if I lost, it's also good. And that's a very nice feeling going into a fight. Like it doesn't matter, because then you have the focus on the progress and not the result. And if you focus too much on the result, the progress is fucked. And let's be honest, the fight is the progress. You need to focus on that, and the second thing come after.
Yeah, it's so funny you actually mentioned that, because I was chatting before me and you connected today. I was chatting with Daria Albers, who is a guest who I had on, German born, but she's out of Poland, and she's a striking coach, but as well as a mental performance coach with Jan Blachowicz, Gamera, and several other Polish and professional UFC fighters. And that was one of the big things that we discussed is the preparation and the mental preparation of just focusing on what you can control, right?
Yeah.
And you can only control so much leading up to that. But what I love about you too is that you want to leverage your work and turn it into something more for yourself. I had read or listened to another interview where I heard you talking about surpassing Rico Verhoeven, which is, people may or may not know him, but he's the top striking king. I feel like he's the king of Holland right now in terms, and one of the biggest sports stars in combat sports, if you ask me. Obviously, the UFC has a bigger platform than Glory.
Exactly.
I'm just curious, as you continue to grow in the sport, how do you plan to leverage the UFC's global reach to achieve that goal?
Yeah, that's the thing. What I also in the interview was talking about. It's like it's a goal to surpass some big names here in Holland because he's a very famous guy. He has a very commercial face. He can talk good. He is always in like bigger talk shows here in Holland. But I can surpass these kind of names because I have a bigger platform. The UFC, the viewings, the pay-per-views, all these kind of people who knowing the UFC is much bigger than Glory. And no offense, I really look up to these guys, and I really respect them. But you need to have some goals to surpass certain people, to have some goals in life. And it isn't strange to sometimes have some goals who are not looking like you could make it. But that's the reason why I'm in the UFC. People were also saying that I'm not reaching the UFC, and look at me now. So I'm capable of doing more than probably I think, and probably other people definitely think.
Yeah, there are a lot of haters out there, as we like to say over here, and people that think small. Always the people that achieve
Yeah,
things are the ones who ask more from themselves, and that's why people achieve those.
sure. The limit, you put on your own limits.
And I did.
I very look up to Max Holloway, and I saw a short coming by like, don't put a limit on me because you put on a limit on yourself. Doesn't will say that I put limit on myself. For you is the limit the sky. For me is the limit the universe, and I love that mindset because if you're not reaching for a bigger state of mind, you always will be small. But if you can think big, you will be big. If you think small, you will be small. Your thoughts are your reality.
I saw that same one, man, yesterday, funny enough, and it got me all hyped up on it as well. And so I love that. And congratulations. I saw that you were named the Athlete of the Year from your hometown. And
Yeah.
I want to pronounce it, but I know I would murder it. I'm just curious, as people are looking up to you, as you continue to grow in your fame and your notoriety across Europe and the world, what advice would you have for other young Dutch MMA athletes who want to compete at the highest level of combat sports?
At first, I want to give them an example how to do it because I'm one of the guys who are stepping up now to the big and global stage. Hopefully, I make the road clear for them, so they also know that hey, if Jarno could make it, I also could make it. That's the first thing where they need to fight on. I love to be inspiring to people. Like, why should we not support each other even more here in the Netherlands than other parts of the world? Because we are a small country, but you are stronger when you're together. So I see it already that I inspire some people, but I want to inspire by example. I want to do good, and then the people will follow also. And yeah.
Man, I love to hear that. And I know you're in the midst of camp right now. Really excited to see you out here in Las Vegas come August and July. Before we get going today, are there any sponsors or supporters that you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, it was a very rough year in 2023 because I got injured. I got one fight. And then stepping into the fight, leading to the fight, I was giving all my money out to training camp and these kind of stuff because it also felt like I need to invest right now because this is kind of the last chance. If I lost three in a row, probably they're going to kick me out. in that time, there were some good people around, like Bricks Real Estate. It's a guy I want to know from my father-in-law, and we have some common friends. They help me a lot to go to Vegas and do my camp, these kind of stuff. Also, my sponsor, like Custom Nutrition, is a friend from a young age. We went. He, Let me explain a little bit like him. He's a foreign guy living in the Netherlands, and he didn't had that money when he was young, and now I was giving him like $5 to go to swim in each other. Like that's what our friendship was built out. And then he went rapping, like the rap scene. Eventually, he turned out a very famous rapper. Then he started a nutrition brand, and now he's like exploding. He's like he has a very big reach here in the Netherlands, and because he has his own nutrition line, he sponsored me with the nutrition, of course, and helping me out with everything I need to know. So I want to thank these guys because these mean for me the most, and of course my team. My team is my everything. Jarno, Rory, Ben Bouquet, Anna Bouquet. Without these people, I wouldn't stand here where I'm today.
Yeah, man, it's something I always like to highlight because I don't think a lot of casual fans understand how important the financial support of the community and sponsors are for athletes, because it's usually are giving up working a full-time job to full-time train.
Yeah.
And it's never an easy thing. So when you can win those bonuses, win your fights, I mean, it's a huge win for you personally. And I noticed that when you won that last fight and you got in with your team and were like, yeah, you didn't even want to talk to Paul first. You wanted to go and congratulate your team.
Yeah.
I thought that was really important, and I'm really excited to see you back here in that octagon.
Yeah, that was also a thing would mention a lot of people. Like I was talking like we got the win. It's not like I got the win, but we got the win because it's teamwork in there, and I respect the people who are always with me, who are helping me, and they never ask me too much. That's you need to be loyal with these guys who are also loyal with you.
Yeah, well, even with your friend, it just goes to show you never know who the people are in your life who are going to impact you. And if you're a good person, you treat people right, that comes back to you. I'm a big proponent of paying it forward, as we like to say here. Well, Jarno, I know you got a busy night, man. Appreciate you spending the time working with me today and having this conversation. Wishing you a safe rest of camp, a safe cut when you're back out here in July, and looking forward to seeing you back in the octagon, friend.
Thanks, man. Can't wait. Probably will be a good fight again. So better as Zalal gets ready.
Looking forward to it, man. Have a good rest of the evening.
Thank you. You the same.